Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
We're getting new information today on the COVID-19 fight in the metro. West Fargo leaders are taking extra steps to help with social distancing. In a meeting that wrapped up in the past hour, leaders announced West Fargo will now be offering curbside liquor pickup, following the footsteps of Fargo and Grand Forks. City leaders from Moorhead and Fargo also talked about plans to fight an upcoming flood in this pandemic. Luckily, the melt has been favorable, but the river is expected to rise. Officials on both sides of the river say social distancing is working, but we can't let our guard down now. And the North Dakota Department of Health released their updated testing numbers for COVID-19. 171 more people have been tested, with 3 of those results coming back positive. The new confirmed cases include a man in his 30s from Morton County, a man in his 50s from Foster County, and a man in his 60s from Ramsey County. One of those men is being hospitalized. In total, North Dakota has tested 1,773 people for the disease. 39 people have tested positive so far. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, the cases are now up to 287. We know living through a pandemic can take a toll on mental health, and we want you to know that you're not alone and there is help. If isolation or social distancing has you thinking of hurting yourself, please call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That number is up on your screen right now, or you can call First Link locally at 211 and they can get you in contact with the people to help. Taking that live look outside this afternoon, gray, kind of a gloomy day out there. What can we expect for the rest of our Wednesday? Well, let's head on over to First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Lisa Green.
Well, we are looking at some conditions that are going to be more gray, unfortunately, for us here today. We're looking also at some snow showers down in the south, too, that have been ongoing. We've largely been missing out on this storm system, but it has been impacting some of our Southern Valley viewers. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But you can see the cloud cover here in the Southern Valley. Anywhere we have movement on this loop, that's where we're dealing with clouds. Where it's relatively steady, that's the snowpack. So we've got some clear skies up in the north Devil's Lake Basin. So Southern Valley, a little bit more on the gloomy side than the north. And moving in, you could see Wheaton back down towards Sisseton as well. Still seeing some flakes, maybe stretching back over into Elbow Lake as well. Our temperatures, it's been a tough one. In fact, our numbers have just kind of been sliding for a lot of us through the day. We're currently at 27 in Fargo, 23 in Grand Forks, and we're looking at a cool one again throughout the day today. So temperatures through the rest of the afternoon and into this evening stay in those upper 20s and low 30s. I'm hoping we can see a few peaks of sunshine this afternoon, and more of that on the way for the end of the week.
All right, thank you, Lisa. A thief in Bemidji is driving around in an unusual vehicle. Police say a tow truck was stolen in the city. Police say this red tow truck was stolen sometime yesterday morning. It's the 2007 International 4000 series with Minnesota plates YBC 3496. If you see this truck, call police. Authorities are looking for a suspect who stabbed a man several times during a robbery in the Northern Valley. Grand Forks officers were called to the 800 block of 51st Street North just before 9 last night and found the 29-year-old victim who had been stabbed several times in the thigh. He told police that he was attacked while walking to his parents' house. The suspect who took off is described as a tall man with a medium build who was wearing dark clothing. The victim is being treated for wounds but is expected to be okay. Fargo police say a girl reported missing earlier this morning is now safe with family. Police thank the community for their help in finding her. Authorities in South Dakota are looking for 5 inmates who walked away from a work center where another inmate tested positive for COVID-19. The South Dakota Department of Corrections say 8 women in total walked away from the work center in Pierre on Monday, and since then 3 have been found. 5 are still on the run. The women walked away from a minimum security work center. There's no word if any of the escaped inmates showed symptoms of the coronavirus. President Donald Trump now says he would like to reopen the country for business by Easter, even as health officials warn the coronavirus pandemic will continue to worsen in the U.S. Easter is just 2.5 weeks from now. Paula Reed has more from the White House.
Easter is our timeline. What a great timeline that would be.
President Trump says he wants to see packed Easter services in just over 2 weeks.
I just thought it was a beautiful time. To be a beautiful time, a beautiful timeline. It was based on a certain level of weeks from the time we started. And it happened to arrive, actually, we were thinking in terms of sooner.
But Dr. Anthony Fauci, who returned to the coronavirus briefing stage yesterday, says not so fast.
You can look at a date, but you got to be very flexible and on a literally day by day and week by week basis.
Medical experts have spent weeks warning Americans against crowded spaces and aren't willing to loosen those restrictions just yet.
No one is going to want to tone down things when you see what's going on in a place like New York City. So I think people might get the misinterpretation. You're just going to lift everything up, and even somebody's going like that. That's not going to happen. It's going to be looking at the data.
The president's comments came just hours after New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said that his state could see the coronavirus infections hit a peak in 2 to 3 weeks, and as other states are battling rising trends.
Says I don't think he's listening to the science. I think that he is, operating, he's looking at the stock market.
The president's aggressive timeline received pushback from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney tweeted, "There will be no normally functioning economy if our hospitals are overwhelmed."
And speaking of lawmakers, the Senate and the White House have agreed upon a stimulus package deal. And in that, most Americans would be getting a check from the government. It should be going for a vote sometime today. We'll have more on that tonight on Valley News Live. But in total, there have been over 44,000 COVID-19 cases in the U.S. 544 deaths have been contributed to the illness. Next in line to the British throne, Prince Charles has tested positive for the coronavirus. He is said to be experiencing mild symptoms. The 71-year-old should become the king after Queen Elizabeth in England. In our consumer alert this afternoon, Ford is recalling more than 268,000 cars in North America to fix doors that could open unexpectedly or may not close. The recall covers the 2014 through 2016 Ford Fusion and Lincoln MKZ and the 2014 and 2015 Ford Fiesta. Ford says a lever in the door latch can crack and fail. They are not aware of any crashes or injuries caused by the problem. Dealers will replace the side door latches and owners will be notified starting May 4th. Several grocery stores are doing what they can to keep workers safe amid the coronavirus. And to practice social distancing, grocers are installing plexiglass shields in the checkout line. Albertsons, H-E-B, Kroger, and Walmart are among those putting up the so-called sneeze guards. The protective screens are meant to block airborne droplets from spreading. Be sure to join Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson every day this week at 2 in the afternoon for online weather classes. Hutch will be discussing a different weather-related topic each day, perfect for those still looking to learn at home. You can tune in at 2 o'clock today to learn about wind and what makes it blow on the Valley News Live Facebook page. Coming up here at noon, 3D printers can make practically anything, and now one couple is using it to help out with the coronavirus pandemic. Find out how a little later. But next, Lisa Green is in with what you need to know for your kind of overcast Wednesday forecast.